All right, hello, welcome back, beautiful. We are back again. So in this session, we're going to discuss how did you gain your fake identification? All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. What is fake ID? So fake identification is any false ID that is forged, altered, or borrowed. If the fake ID is not matching who God say you are, you're walking around with a fake ID. All right, if whatever identification you have right now, it's not matching with the word of God, it's not matching with who God created you to be, that is definitely a fake ID. What caused people to take on fake ID? So you take on fake ID from your bloodline, your upbringing, life experiences, habits, and other influences in your life related to those you have soul tie with, and through trauma, pain, and abuse. Because we're both spirit with a soul and a body, everything we do and say and experience, that create a spiritual and psychological DNA that give us our identification card. So here are a few reasons people create fake ID: to cope with pain, be someone or something they're not to just to fit in, to have comfort, to be comfortable. Some people are comfortable with a certain type of identification, a certain ID. It looks familiar as well. So everyone in the family may be this way and have this ID card, so it's familiar to you. So you just take on that ID. It is also to obtain materialistic things such as riches, cars, etc. So people would take on fake ID. Some people would say they're rich when they're broke. Okay, that's a fake ID. You know you ain't got it right now, but they'll take that fake ID to gain materialistic things, to look rich and all of that. The next thing is for status and power. A lot of people create fake ID just to get status and power. It is also to cover shame, guilt, and other unhealthy emotions. So these are a few reasons why people create fake ID, and there are trauma that are associated with that. So we're going to go over these traumas and review a few of those trauma. Make sure you write down what resonate with you as I go through this. So the different type of trauma that create fake ID, the very first one is sexual abuse. So sexual abuse alter a person's state of being drastically, both spiritually and psychologically. When a person is sexually abused spiritually, their soul is broken and part of their soul is caged. This leads to bondage and the transfer of spirits from their predator. The transfer of spirits from the predator now becomes the victim spirit, and those spirits change the victim or individual identity, their desire, personality, and natural affection. Psychologically, when sexually abuse occurs, a person disconnects from themselves in order to survive through the attack and later on to cope. So when this happens to a person, this person is out of touch with their emotions and that part of their soul. So here are a few fake ID that are formed from sexual abuse. The first thing is spirit transfers. So when a spirit is transferred into a person during sexually abuse, a lot of people form bipolar disorder. A lot of people also become promiscuous. They're very sexually active beyond the norm. A lot of individuals pick up the idea of being anti-submissive. All right, so for a female, they can't submit to a man. For a male, they cannot submit to authority as well. They have problem with that. Another idea is being double-minded. God did not give us a double mind. So you'll see people who have been sexually abused, they struggle with their mind. 1 minute is this way, the next minute they change their mind is something else. The next thing is hatred for the opposite sex. This is an identification that is from pain and this form of abuse. The next thing is rebellion, bitterness, depression. All right, and a lot of people pick up this idea of being introvert. You're a spirit. There's no such thing as you being introvert. So that ties into that sexually abused. The next thing is being the life of the party. Living this life, partying and drinking and making that a norm. And the next thing is the next fake ID is lust and perversion. Lust and perversion, and it causes you to cover up and to hide instead of being yourself. So now you form this ID where you're shy and you're ashamed of yourself as well, when truly that's not who you are. So those are a few fake ID that comes from sexual abuse. So the next form of abuse that we're going to look at is physical abuse. Physical abuse comes from those who are close and dear to our heart. When there is physical abuse, trust is broken. The individual feels betrayed, often left in shock, and to take the blame as well. This causes impact and alter the psychological frame of a person, and it's not mostly the physical pain, but the emotion and mental pain that comes with that. So these are a few fake ID that are formed from physical abuse: low self-esteem, toxic relationship, emotionally unavailable and unstable, anger and violent, manipulator. So this individual end up manipulating other people, rebellion, bitterness and depression, fear and trust issues, deep hurt. I don't need a man. Women aren't, that comes from when a person is physically abused, the hurt that comes with that. Submissiveness, and that I don't care attitude. Okay, so that all comes with physical abuse. Those are just a few. The next thing we're going to look at is emotional abuse. Emotional abuse can occur during childhood trauma or late adulthood. Emotional abuse can happen when a parent neglects their child, and that child has to learn to survive and regulate their own emotion on their own. In late adulthood, emotional abuse occurs usually in romantic relationship and other non-romantic relationship as well. Regardless of how the abuse occurs, it still causes damage to the human spirit and brain, and this leads a person to pick up a fake ID to mask their pain. So these are the few fake ID that comes with emotional abuse: becoming emotionally unstable, codependency, introvert and extrovert, low self-esteem, drug use, witchcraft, double-mindedness, and fear instead of power. So this person, instead of walking in their God-given power, they end up walking in fear. All right. So the next thing we're going to look at is the financial abuse. So financial abuse is any form of manipulation to gain from one person without regard of their livelihood. When a person goes through financial abuse, they endure trauma that affect every part of their life, placing them in fight and flight mode consistently just to survive. So when a person stays in that circumstances caused by the abuse for an extensive period of time, it causes them to pick up several fake ID. And these are just a few: a poverty mindset, all right, a mindset of constantly lack and financial struggle, and also failure. They take on that mindset, their failure, lack of confidence, depression, double-mindedness, antisocial. I don't like that mindset. You'll hear this with a lot of people who have been abused really around finance. Anything about finance or living an abundance life, they'll just tell you, I don't like that. But it's not really that they don't like it, or even you, that you don't like it. It's just due to the abuse. A mindset was created. Unidentified individual. So you cannot even identify yourself. You don't know who you are. Independence. You have the ones who are independent. They're strong. They have that ego and they're puffed up. You don't have a sense of purpose, and you end up being lost because now you're just working to pay bills and pay off debt that you have not discovered your purpose yet. So those are the few ID that comes with financial abuse. The next thing that we have on here is rejection. All right. So oftentimes rejection is one of the strongest spirit that comes in by trauma. And this can be from birth or in early childhood. Rejection does not only wound you, but it affects your personality and your identity as well. So when a person is rejected, they feel as if there is something wrong with them. Therefore, they reject themselves. If you're someone that battle with rejection, I'm pretty sure you can definitely relate to this. Once you have been rejected, you end up rejecting yourself or thinking something is wrong with you. The devil will create false personality within you so that you can take on false identity as well. And these are the fake ID that comes with rejection. You have pride, you have fear, you have unworthiness and depression. Self-rejection, so you're rejecting yourself. People-pleasing ways. You're self-centered, you're controlled, you have witchcraft as well. Judgmental, egotistic, perfectionism. You have avoidant personality and borderline personality disorder, laziness, victimhood mindset, and codependent. Those are few identities, fake IDs that comes with being rejected and the trauma of rejection. The next thing we're going to look at is abandonment. Those who suffer from abandonment were abandoned at a very young age, and this trauma stopped their development growth, leading them to create many fake IDs. So here are a few fake ID that comes from abandonment. You have the fear of rejection, insecurity, shame, fear and self-righteousness, lust, drug use, addiction, being the life of the party, sex, drinking, partying all the time, and being a workaholic as well. So those are few that comes with that. And then we move on to narcissistic abuse. So with narcissists is a whole lot, but I just have a few here for us to look at. Narcissists are skilled at manipulation and projection. Therefore, their victims take on their narcissistic ID while the narcissist steal the victim ID. So here are a few ID that you can look for in your own life when it comes to narcissists. Is the feeling of unworthiness. You feel like you're not worthy. You have the fake ID of shame, fear, regret, hatred, envy, and jealousy. Perversion and mental illnesses. You go from being blessed to being cursed, financial abundance to financial lack, all right, debt and poverty. You have bitterness, rage, unforgiveness, anger, violence, revenge, and murder as well. You have spiritual death that comes with that. So many people, spiritually, they're just dead, their lights is out. That is an ID that comes upon them after this abusive relationship. The next thing is mental illness, depression, anxiety, and PTSD. You never want to date again. You never want to date. You never want to get in a relationship. You take on that ID. I'm good all by myself. It's just me. You discover many people develop bipolar disorder after these situations. You have doubtful and double-mindedness. These are just few ID that comes with narcissist abuse. You have to understand as you assess yourself, you want to take a look at this and see what was the identity you hold before the narcissist. So let's look at the fake ID of feeling unworthy, feeling worthless. What was your ID before this situation? Did you feel you was enough? Did you feel you was worthy and you was worthy of love? That is the true ID that you hold. So therefore you want to go ahead and pick that ID up, because everything else came from the narcissist and is not yours. The next thing we're going to look at is betrayal, okay? You have faced betrayal in this relationship. Fake ID comes from betrayal, and these are just three. The hardness of your heart. So you harden your heart. You don't want to let anyone in. There is pain and unforgiveness, spiritual blindness as well. That comes with being betrayal and the pain of betrayal. The next thing is abortion. So the fake ID, three fake ID that comes with abortion is barrenness, guilt and sicknesses, fear, condemnation, and continual sorrow. So you live in continual sorrow until you receive that healing and deliverance. The next type of abuse is emotional neglect. That causes codependency, gluttony, and drunkenness. The next thing is fear, all right? Fear causes you to cover up and to hide instead of being yourself and who God created you to be. And this usually occurs when you're not validated by your parents. So you form this people-pleasing way and this perfection image of yourself. You take on this identity all because you fear not being yourself. So those are just few things that fear does. And then you have also this trauma of death. When you have experienced death in the family, or you lost a loved one, you take on this idea of having a hard heart, feeling sorrow, and living as the dead. It is so important, that last part, when you're living as the dead instead of moving on with your life. The next thing is heartbreak. There are identity that comes with any form of heartbreak that we receive, fake ID that is not ours. So we're going to go through a few on here. You have lesbianism, homosexuality, feminism. You have anger, depression, pain, lust, unworthiness, anti-submissive, don't want to have kids or get married or submit to a man. You become overly sexual as well. The next thing is chronic financial hardship. Okay, so chronic financial hardship does have its own fake ID that comes with it. Financial hardship is when you are living continuously paycheck to paycheck just to make ends meet. And these are the fake ID that comes with it. You have a poverty mindset. All right, a scarcity mindset. You have insecurity, that idea of being insecure, shame. You pick up guilt and lack of confidence as well. All right, so the next thing on here is generational curses. Generational curses also cause us to take on fake ID. So with generational curses, you take on whatever is passed down from your bloodline, and this is both spiritual and psychological. Your true identity is then hidden, and you're taking what you have seen in the bloodline and what you have been told. And these are just few that comes from generational curses. Receive curse. So now it seems as if you're cursed. You're the black sheep of the family. You're the problem child, the deceiver. Barrenness. You take on the identity of being barren, pain, sorrow, failure, disappointment, poverty. All right. One or both parents are toxic. Therefore, you will take on whatever is in them based on whoever raised you, whoever was your primary caregiver. And also you have the stronghold spirits as well. Every bloodline has a stronghold spirit. For example, the spirit of perversion, the spirit of lust, that will also pass down to you as well, and you will see yourself living in that. So it's important for you to identify the strong man spirit in the bloodline, and that will tell you what fake ID is connected to that. So I want you to go ahead and take a look at the screen, all right? Fake ID, the narcissist created to lure you in. A narcissist will tell you, I am preserving, I am humble, I'm successful, I'm disciplined, I'm faithful, I am motivated, I'm loving, I am ambitious, outgoing, I am smart, passionate, I love God. How many of you... I'm pretty sure you got God with that one. I love God. I am hardworking. I'm selfless. I'm joyful, right? You have things like I'm logical. I'm organized. I'm gracious. I'm financially stable. All these things, if you look at this list, this is who you were. The narcissists study you and they learn so much about you. This is your true identity, the good essence of you. And I want you to go ahead and screenshot this and write this down so that you can remember who you were and who you truly are, because this is so important. But yes, this is exactly how the narcissists go ahead and lure you in, all right? So the next thing that we have on here, we're going to do some self-reflection from this teaching, everything that I've taught so far. So I have here a few questions that I want you to go ahead and reflect on. You do have this information in your package, your reflection package. So you definitely want to go ahead and review it, but I'll go ahead and just go over it with you. So the very first thing is you want to identify which trauma and fake ID resonate with you the most. And also, what fake ID have you created for yourself to mask pain and to be able to cope with that pain? The next thing you want to do is identify what fake ID have you accepted from others and the narcissist as well. And the next thing here is, what story have you believed about yourself and your life based on all the fake IDs that has been created? Definitely answer that question. Take your time. It is so important that you answer it, because in order for you to get your real ID back, you have to know what fake ID you're holding, where it came from, in order for you to break free from it. Now, there are a few other questions on here. Which fake ID of the narcissist resonate with you as well? You definitely want to go ahead and write that down, whatever it is, what resonate with you from this narcissist. And also, oh my God, my computer shut off. My computer shut off. So go ahead and write down what fake ID from the narcissist you picked up and meditate upon that as well. So my computer went ahead and crashed. It shut off. So we're going to be back to the next session. You have a lot of reflection to do. So I'll go ahead and charge this computer and we'll be back. Until next